How's it going, you guys? So I've gotten quite a few questions about vitamin D supplementation recently, so I figured I would make a video. Before I begin, though, I must let you all know that I am brewing some amazing tea right now, Kung Fu style. It's delicious. It's just some organic gunpowder green tea with some Damiana in it. So, anyway. Vitamin D supplementation. So, first of all, it's actually very, very common for people to for people to suffer from things like mood imbalances, low libido, sleep disturbances, and even things like low testosterone. These can all be caused by low serum vitamin D levels. And I know that vitamin D is important for these things, not only because of a lot of the published research on the topic, but also because one of the main reasons why people will go to the doctors and then get tested for vitamin D in the first place is because they present with these symptoms of depression and low mood imbalances, sleep, low libido, and even low testosterone, and symptoms that are similar to low testosterone. They go to their doctor, and the doctor tests them for vitamin D, or they do a full panel, and they find that they're vitamin D deficient according to government standards. So there's actually a lot of experts out there who believe that it's a myth that you need vitamin D, and that the so-called healthy levels of vitamin D on blood tests don't say anything, and that you're actually harming yourself by supplementing with vitamin D. And following these government guidelines for the healthy range in the serum of vitamin D is just going to harm you, according to these people. Now, I can understand where they're coming from. I can, because I understand that fat-soluble nutrients interact in a nuanced fashion between each other, along with mineral balance as well, things like calcium and magnesium, vitamin K2, vitamin A, etc. And then also cholesterol and a wide variety of other factors play into the intricate synergistic role that vitamin D plays on human physiology. Interestingly enough, that one of the Facebook groups that talks about this has been blocked from Facebook. They've been shadow banned, and it's really weird. It's kind of disturbing, actually. It's called Sorcosteroid vitamin D or something like that. Anyway, these people believe vitamin D supplementation is harmful. So anyway, so there are other opinions out there about vitamin D. But again, I know that I know that low vitamin D is an issue, and people that have low vitamin D typically present with all the same symptoms, and then they go to their doctor, they get diagnosed, without even a cognitive bias, like a confirmation bias, thinking that it's probably vitamin D. No, they just get tested, they figure out they are low in vitamin D, and then after, anywhere from 2 weeks to the average of 2 months to as long as 6 to 8 months of continuous vitamin D3 supplementation, especially in high doses, and these people can get their vitamin D levels back to the healthy range on a blood test. And when they do, most of their symptoms go away. Their brain fog, depersonalization, lethargy, a lack of motivation, even things like anxiety, depression, I probably said that a million times already, low sex drive and loss of libido, and a whole wide variety of different things. For some people, joint pain, and obviously other people, things like bow legs and bone deformities in childhood can be caused by a lack of vitamin D, fat-soluble nutrients in general, and calcium. Oh man, that was perfect. I brewed it great this time. So, man, this tea's good. You guys have never been tea drunk. So, yeah, tea is like the ultimate buzz. So, especially when you're making awesome videos like this. So anyway, So there's this common misconception that you need some kind of special vitamin D supplement. I had one of my subscribers message me saying that her doctor, her naturopathic doctor, like sold her this vitamin D, this immersed vitamin D, and she thought that it was like some kind of advanced vitamin D formula that's like scientifically superior because it's emulsified. It's emulsified, emulsified vitamin D. And I think she said she paid like $60 for 30 servings of it for 5,000 IUs or something per serving. That's like a complete ripoff. But I'm probably exaggerating there. But that would be a disturbingly high ripoff. So generally speaking, any vitamin D3 that is mixed with fats, for example, the one I buy Now Foods, it's vitamin D in a base of MCT oil. But anything that's like any vitamin D supplement that's mixed with fats can be considered emulsified. Obviously, there's nothing really too special about calling your supplement emulsified other than like marketing. And I mean, yeah, it's really nothing crazy special, but it is a good thing to consume vitamin D with fats. Obviously, because it is a fat-soluble nutrient, it requires bile, and it requires other factors involved in fat metabolism, fat digestion, fat absorption in order to be absorbed efficiently. Although there's some studies that actually show that as long as you have adequate fats in your diet throughout the rest of the day, that you don't actually need to consume fat with the vitamin D supplement. I've read that olive oil, as little as like 1 gram of fat from olive oil is more than enough to allow the absorption of vitamin D. But I have seen research that shows vitamin D3 is best absorbed with your largest meal. But anyway, you don't need a special vitamin D supplement. What kind do I buy? So I buy vitamin D3 emulsified, or just like it's mixed in with MCT oil. It's by Now Foods. It is about $7, and you get like 40 dropperfuls. This is in a tincture, and every dropperful is about 3,000 IUs. So, I mean, I think that's pretty cheap considering it's immersed in MCT oil, or emulsified MCT. There's nothing else added, and it's a relatively high dose when you compare to other similar vitamin D supplements. So, so that is my preferred brand and source, although there's not really, if you're looking to megadose vitamin D, it's probably better to buy the, there's other forms. Like I found like a tiny vial, I think by the brand Natural Factors, and it was emulsified in MCT oil as well. And there was like 1,000 IUs per drop, and it had like 400 drops or something. So that's 400,000 IUs of vitamin D, and it was only like $12. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. Get the cheapest one. Just make sure that it's actually vitamin D, and if it's mixed with fat, make sure it's not mixed with soybean oil or another one of those toxic oils. Okay, don't buy any crazy like super absorbable vitamin D. You don't need any crap like that. As long as it doesn't have soybean oil as a base. So another thing that I like is cod liver oil. There's a lot of controversy around that. I think the best cod liver oil that you can buy is one that has the vitamins naturally occurring, although it's hard to find it. Most have the vitamins added to it. I think if you buy cod liver oil with the vitamins added to it, that can be a great source of a daily maintenance dose. What else? So vitamin D is probably best taken in the morning. The reason why is because it seems to keep people up if they take it too late, and also seems to help them wake up in the morning if they take it first thing upon waking. What else? So another thing is recently there's been intervention trials that show vitamin D taken at the equivalent dose of around 40,000 IUs a day can actually, it seems to actually, so they actually had an intervention trial. I'll see if I can post it in the description unless I'm too lazy to do so. I posted about it on Instagram and Facebook multiple times. I think I even made a video about it before, but there were hospitalized patients with COVID. I forgot the number. I think it was over 70 patients, a pretty large sample size. They were getting ready to go to the ICU because their symptoms were so severe. So they're on their way to the intensive care unit, and they had actually decided to megadose them intravenously with vitamin D, with megadoses of vitamin D, and they gave them over 40,000 IUs for 7 days, and then they went into remission, and they were ready to go home. And then they were put on a maintenance dose of 7,000 IUs a day. And after a month, they were still completely symptom-free. So, I mean, that's pretty substantial. And there's a number of different population studies and intervention trials, not only just for COVID. COVID mostly has population data besides just one intervention I'm talking about. But for a wide variety of other viral infections, we have a lot of evidence, both intervention studies and population data, that suggests vitamin D supplementation can prevent infection, boost immunity, so to speak. And also, if you do have an infection, it can help you get over the infection faster, taken in large enough doses. So with that being said, you know, again, there's a lot of nuance within all of it. It is possible that taking high doses of vitamin D supplements for too long can offset other fat soluble nutrients that work in synergy, like vitamin A, vitamin E maybe, possibly, but I think more so vitamin A, vitamin K2, and calcium and magnesium. And so, I mean, it should all be taken with a grain of salt. Obviously, I'm not telling people to do anything necessarily, but it's a pretty diverse topic. So, but the basis is, you know, if you're feeling like you have, you know, if you're depressed, if you have low mood, low libido, having trouble sleeping, you know, and especially if you get your vitamin D levels tested and you're low, you should definitely get a blood test if you can. Order it online or go see your doctor. If you're low on vitamin D especially, you know, megadosing with probably 10,000 to around, I would say 25,000 IUs a day is probably a safe limit, upper limit, for maybe 2 weeks, 25,000 IUs, which is very high. And then after the 2 weeks, taper it down to about 15,000 for 2 weeks, and then 10,000 for 2 weeks, and stay at that 10,000 IU dosage until you know, or stay at the high dosage in general until you feel better. And if you don't feel better after six months, then you probably don't need vitamin D. But if you're getting tested, the process is a lot easier, because then you know for sure that vitamin D is the problem, and then you can test as the weeks go on how your vitamin D status is progressing from the supplementation. So if you have any more questions about vitamin D, post them down below. If you have any you know, disagreements on any of the information I presented, also post that down below. Let me know your opinions, let me know your questions. I'll be happy to help you all. And this is not medical advice, just information and education. Subscribe if you have not already. I love my subscribers. I love answering their questions. Like my video and share it. And I'll talk to y'all next time.